Gonna use Siri to put on your video lights. Ready?
Okay.
Hey Siri, video 1 blue. And return your blue.
Okay, so lots has happened in crypto.
Oh yeah.
To say the least, right?
What hasn't happened?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
So, clearly we have to talk about the elephant in the room because, how do you not? So I thought that tonight we would talk about wallets, both hot wallets, hard wallets, and exchanges and where to keep your hello.
Hey Linda.
And where and how to keep your crypto safe. So we're gonna kind of just leave it open tonight that if you want to chime in, you go ahead. If you have an opinion, crypto related opinion, we're good with that.
Wow.
And I even have chocolate bars. Where's Bert?
Well, here we are.
All right.
Just like a phone thing,
So, before we get started, I think there's nobody new here, right?
Everybody's new.
Everybody's been here before. So everybody knows Washington's over here. There's popcorn and coffee over there. If you want a special drink, you can go see Kevin.
Special.
Okay, so if you haven't been here in a couple of months, we started. Wow, that's like front and center, eh?
We rearranged the whole place here.
Brad wants a bar.
So if you haven't been here in a few months, we started using our Nuts token again. So if you want to buy something, we encourage you to use Nuts so that you start using your wallet and you get used to doing that. Also drinks and stuff, if you pay for your drink with Nuts.
They're way cheaper.
Yeah, it is cheaper. And your entry fee, it's normally $5. If you pay with Nuts, it's 350 Nuts.
No, 35.
35 Nuts, which is $3.50. Got it.
It's $35.
Crystal clear, right?
Don't forget 1-year membership, $40.
How much?
$40, 1-year membership.
$40.
Yeah. Unlimited number of meetups.
I didn't know about the membership.
Okay, so your membership is $40 and you can come to
As many as you want.
this, like the Thursday night meetings and then maybe Tuesday meetings.
Yeah.
And you can go see Kevin with that.
Absolutely.
24 for the price of 8.
That's right.
What else is there? Oh, all of our merchandise is tax-free tonight.
And we're taking orders. I'm kind of butting in here a little bit. We got a special buy on Trezors. And so if anyone wants to buy a Trezor, we're taking orders. We're going to be selling them for way lower than what you can normally get them for.
Which treasures?
The original Trezor. Yeah. So
$50?
no.
No.
100?
I'll take them all. Look. Buy them
No.
all.
For CryptoNutz members, we're going to do them for $100.
Okay,
They were $200, by the way.
I know.
So it's like
I
half
thought we were
price.
doing
Yeah.
a super duper duper deal.
And if you want to switch to that one, you can as well.
Okay, so
Don't open that one up that you have if you want to switch.
Classic,
Right?
$100. You have to put your order in. It's a special deal, and we can only order so many.
It's sealed brand new though, like right from Trezor.
So we use an accountant. They're called Talbot and Associates. They were here last month, and we've asked them if they will do a presentation on crypto and taxes.
Oh.
And yes, they will do that. So I know.
Awesome.
So we asked them if they would do that closer to tax season, so it'll be fresher in your mind. So they will be doing that in February. Thank you. My niece is texting me. Yeah, so they're going to be doing a presentation in February. Sorry, I'm a little off tonight. I'm a little scattered.
Okay.
Oh, and I came upon a new hobby. I started making mittens.
Oh.
So they're on the back table over here. Some of them are not finished. Some of them are finished. Just so you kind of get an idea of
They're
what
pretty
they look
awesome.
like.
They're handmade, hand stitched.
Some of them are kids. It's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very nice.
Sean is the model. The hand model.
Marble, the hand is missing.
So the adult knits usually go about $100, unless you have like a monster size hand, and you know, then probably 120 or something. But normally about $100. Kids ones are 50, unless they have some kind of beading or something on them, and then they're 55.
Explain what they're made out of.
So they're made out of either leather or suede. The inside lining, it's called Sherpa, and it's a man-made wool, so it's hypoallergenic. And then it has, most of them just have rabbit fur, but you can get beaver or fox or whatever you want. So you can just, yes.
But do you do a special order? Because for biking, I like to do like a mitt style, but like with the fingers, like I can like have the
Flip them
fingers.
back?
Yeah, flip them back. Yeah,
Yes, I do special.
you do those.
Yes.
Super.
Yes.
Later.
So, yes,
Well,
just like that.
It's gotta be insulated.
So any color you want, whatever, just come see me. What else do I need to tell you? Yes.
Are we doing a special Christmas meetup next month?
Yeah.
Yes, good thought. I was gonna ask you guys about that. Do you want to do just like an appetizer?
Last year. Last year.
What did we do last year?
Oh, wow.
Oh, we did an open house at the other building.
Yeah.
Yes, we
And
could
a
do
bunch
that.
of little.
Give away things, yes.
Not bad. It's like a little pick me through the.
Oh, little appetizer thingies. Yeah.
I think we'll probably do that here.
We'll probably do it here because just it's more space. So if you guys want to bring an appetizer, bring whatever you want to drink. Do you want to do that on the Thursday?
Maybe bump it to the Friday?
Who wants to do it on the regular Thursday meeting?
Has to be a Thursday meeting because we can't miss Thursday. We're the longest running continuous crypto meetup in North America so far.
So everybody call it
Continuous. In Ontario, they were actually running, I think, just a short time before us, but they've missed several meetups. We've never missed a meetup in almost coming up to 7 years now.
Let's hold it stick on Friday.
Dude, do what's perfect attendance.
Just something to brag about.
What else do we need to talk about before we?
Monopoly.
Oh, Monopoly, yes.
We have a champion. He's not here, but we do have a champion.
Oh, you mean that you lost?
I did lose terribly, actually.
Yes. You won.
No,
You did not win.
I think,
No.
I think Camille.
Who can't
So now somebody has to join up with the poker tournament. Because the last poker tournament that we tried to do, it was Wayne and I. And okay, it's not so bad, just Wayne and I.
But you lost.
I want to preface that. Okay, Wayne is a professional. Okay, he's played at the big table of the poker tournaments. Okay,
Very good, yeah.
he's really good. This guy's been keeping spreadsheets on his poker games for 20 years. Okay, I'm not that kind of poker player. And I stuck with him right till the end, and there was nobody else to help. So come on, somebody help me beat this guy.
Okay.
Again, no. Wayne's not feeling well, but it's going to be coming up.
September 15th.
Before Christmas or after Christmas?
Probably after.
I would think.
Probably after, yeah.
Okay, so January
No,
sometime.
I'm thinking January.
All right. So
Yeah.
sign up if you guys want to do that. What is it?
Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, $5,000 buy-in. Yeah.
5,000 nuts.
One Bitcoin.
Not even 5,000 nuts.
They got one Bitcoin buy-in. That was
50 nuts. With
Wait,
$5.
you say one Bitcoin?
no, that can change drastically between now and then.
Yeah. It could be depending on if you say yes or no.
It could be a $5 buy-in or a $100,000 buy-in. One of it.
So I am not a poker player. So does anybody want to do anything other than poker?
You guys can do an old go fish tournament.
We have
Oh
pool.
no.
We have pool. We have shuffleboard.
If anyone wants to come and not play poker, I will play shuffleboard.
Like Kevin needs to buy some big round table.
Yeah, I looked at it.
More. So he needs a couple of-
I looked at the pool.
But they're forever. Cool with everything.
One more thing.
Okay.
to this story.
You thought it was just a pretty place.
This isn't changing.
Okay, anything else we gotta talk about before we jump into this FTX thing?
Said the swear word.
I know, so sorry.
There we go.
No, nobody has anything else to talk about besides FTX?
Anybody in FTX?
Did
Anybody
anybody
on?
get screwed over by FTX?
No.
Right on.
No. Are you kidding me in exchanges? Come on, man.
Yeah, but that also affects things like Solana.
Oh, it
Yes.
affects a lot of projects.
Oh,
Stop selling USDC,
Apparently,
USDT on Solana.
Was it Grayscale?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
about to be affected?
Yeah.
Like,
This is going to be the cascade effect is going to be huge. And by the way, don't buy Solana. Solana's toast, and it's really unfortunate because Solana was a good project and it had a lot of potential, but their association with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried is going to screw that project. So still look towards FTX, looks towards investing back in it once it hits its bottom, because it's going to hit a bottom. We're figuring that bottom is probably going to be anywhere from around $6 to $9 is the bottom. Yeah. And when it does, there's still a lot of good technology there, so there could be good money to be made.
Why don't we start back at the beginning
We
and
will.
talk about what happened first?
Absolutely. There's a video we're going to do that.
Okay, should we watch the video first then?
Sure.
Good.
They're gonna be selling at a
You
loss.
should have already sold it.
I did.
Okay, then hang on.
At this point, just hold it.
Just-
Yeah. It
Hold
dropped.
on.
It dropped a lot.
I know.
Yeah. So
I
no.
sold some quite a while ago.
Did
but
ya?
I found some too.
That's okay. I mean, it's a good project, and they have a lot of legs. Like, there's a lot of things going on. Especially the NFT marketplace for Solana now is actually propping up the token. The token is being sold off at a record rate right now, but because there's such activity on the NFT front, it's actually propping up the token. So that's really good news. That means that real people are using it for real things. This is something that we look for in crypto. When real people use it for real things, that means it's got legs. So don't sell now. It's already dropped. If you sell now, you'll take a bath. And if you wait, you're going to have to wait, though. You're going to be a bag holder for a while. But I'll probably look at investing back into Solana once it gets down to its near all-time lows, or unfortunately much lower.
Why even stake it?
Yes, you can. But if you're sorry.
Come up here. Come up here.
Okay. Yes, you can stake Solana, and Solana pays very good. But if you stake Solana right now, most of the ways that you're going to stake Solana are in centralized kind of fashion, unless you're a validator. And to be a validator on Solana is very complex. You have to have pretty sophisticated computer equipment, and not many people can actually do it. So because the only other alternative to Solana is going with a centralized solution, in other words, you're trusting someone else, I can't advise to do that. Unless you're prepared to go the extra mile, learn how to become a validator with Solana, it's still a good bet. If you have a lot and you need to become a validator, it's a good bet. You do what you have to do, you get it done, you get it staking. And you can earn, I think it's still up about 8% right now on Solana. So it's still, there's very good metrics to Solana. A lot of people are using it. It's a real project. Unfortunately, its connection with SBF, which is Sam Bankman-Fried, and FTX, which is the exchange, it's going to sully it for quite some time. We're looking at maybe at least a year before Solana starts to recover. Because of this, not because of the project. But Anatoly Yankovich, the guy who created Solana, is a genius, and the project is really, really good. It's just that there's lots of projects that are really good, you know. And one of the ones that I've talked to people about time and time again is Matic, a layer 2 solution, for the Ethereum blockchain. Matic can do everything that Solana can do. It's based under Ethereum, and Ethereum is fantastic, and it's just as fast, just as adjustable, just as many NFT projects are going on Matic right now. So it's a better bet for the short term. If you have Solana already, you want to hang on and you want to wait. That's the
Okay, so I think that we should start back at the beginning as to what happened with FTX. So do you want to play your video first?
Let's just play the video because it's a 6-minute video. Everybody has 6 minutes worth of attention span. I know that's tough, but
Is it,
there are 6 minutes worth of attention span here. It's a really good video, and I'll get fired up there.
is it on YouTube or you have it saved?
Got it on the YouTube.
SEC stepped in and said that there's no regulation on that, and that if he did that, he would be just entering himself into that whole situation. So anyway,
Mr. Wonderful. No, I can tell you sorry about that stuff. But
It's a monumental kick.
and just one more kind of
Great old people taking money off.
funny thing. Michael Saylor, does anybody hear what he said? Has anybody heard of the Wolf of Wall Street? Okay, yeah. So he's saying they should make a movie, The King of Crypto, from SBM.
You put your hand up, Stacey. You can't take it back down.
What? That big connect you talked about? I remember, but I remember seeing something just about 6 months ago or so.
This was
Oh, I'm sorry, the what?
The TX.
he's really
We're going to talk a little bit about wallets because with what happened here with FTX and with exchanges in general and every kind of centralized crypto company that is out there, this is going to continue to happen. This is something we've been talking about in the Meetup for 7 years now. And now it's like, this is brand new news. Well, this is not brand new news. This is what's happening, and this is what's going to continue to happen. Crypto that is centralized is like your banks. They're going to rip you off, they're going to take advantage of you, and they're going to close down because there's not regulations like there are in banks. Like in Canada, there are regulations. So the banks, if after a certain amount of money, there's insurance, there's things that are going to make sure that you get your money back. None of that exists in crypto. So don't think that any of the Canadian crypto exchanges are solvent and trustworthy. I mean, the best example that we can talk about is Quadriga. I know people that lost a fortune on Quadriga, and we lost a pretty good chunk of change on Quadriga. Not directly, because we don't put money on exchange, but indirectly through the investment group. We lost a lot of money on Quadriga. Canada is not exclusive to this. Like, you know, Canada's going to have the same kind of problems like everybody else is. I think that there are times coming where there's going to be some regulations going to come in. It's going to be very difficult at first. Everybody's going to complain a lot. But what's going to happen is at least some of the people's funds are going to be protected. When they want to be centralized, okay, this is important here. Because centralized is not what crypto is about. It's not what Bitcoin's about. It's not why this all started. Centralization is the enemy of crypto. And yet, everybody thinks that because SBF failed and FTX failed, that crypto is failing. This has nothing to do with crypto. Things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, all are independent projects that are existing on a blockchain. They don't care about exchanges. You know, anything that you own, if you have it on a hardware wallet, which is one of the things we're going to talk about in a few moments, or even on a software wallet that is decentralized, is safe and has been safe the whole time. Things that you've heard about, like with the Canada protest, where people lost, you know, with the trucker protest, where people lost all that crypto. The reason they lost all that crypto is because they put it on a centralized exchange again. This is gonna happen. Had someone even put it on a simple wallet, like the trust wallet, that we've always talked about in the meetups here, where you own the private seed to that trust wallet, nobody would have been able to take it. It's a very simple thing, but it doesn't happen as often as it should. I think one of the best things of what's going on here is that it's a wake-up call for everybody again that, hey, if you don't use decentralized, you're going to lose. It's not if, it's when. And all of them can be lumped into that. Binance, Coinbase, CoinSquare, you know, there's so darn many of them now, but they're all centralized. They're giving you monopoly money. And they're telling you, hey, trust me, I'll give you monopoly money, but I'll give you back what you should have. Yeah, I'll give it back, don't worry. Just give me your money. One day when you want it, I'll give it back to you. Well, that's not gonna work. That won't work with crypto. And anybody who gets involved in that is gonna have a loss, a major loss at some point, because it just doesn't work.
Now, decentralized exchanges, ultimately are still centralized.
No,
No.
no.
Which are decentralized exchanges?
Any exchange that deals with fiat is centralized.
Yes.
What?
But there's a public.
Because I don't hold any crypto. Like when you come and buy crypto from me, you give me your money and I send you the crypto immediately. I'm not holding your crypto. I don't have access to it.
You're not.
It's gone. The moment we make a deal, I send you that crypto. It's in your hardware wallet and it's there forever until you decide to send it up.
Yeah, a centralized Kevin would be, you give him cash and he hands you a piece of paper saying that he owes you 100 Bitcoin.
Yeah. And one day I may give it
One
back,
day you gotta cash that piece of paper in.
and then I'm not here.
Yeah.
Not that I did that. But that's what they do. That's what happened with
Find him a pen.
FTX.
What are
Quadriga, yeah.
there is, the thing is, with decentralization, there is a public ledger that you can track all transactions, okay? And you can see which wallet, might not have a human identity to that wallet, but you can follow the money in whatever form it takes to a particular wallet.
What are some examples of?
Couldn't we do that with what happened here at FTX, so?
And when you put the forensic guys in there, but they know the bulk of it is, this
Well,
happening that happened, that's all BS.
That's why FTX failed. They tracked it and found out shenanigans were going on.
And Quadriga, they did the same thing. They had the forensic accountants go in there and they figured out exactly where.
See where it goes. They
Yeah.
just can't do anything but vote.
Most DEXs there's no one involved in a DEX.
Yeah.
It's all code. I send X coin, I get Y coin, it's traded. So there's no person behind the DEX that can be like, ooh, my money, and then send it off to another exchange to hope to quadruple it, and then they lose it all, and then now they have, so DEX is,
Spent 40 million in a house in Bahamas.
assuming it's a proper DEX, where
I
no
mean,
one actually
in a
gets
centralized kind of scenario, in other words, like with stocks, okay? They can't do that kind of stuff because there's legislation in place. User deposits can't be used for speculation.
Tell that to John
Now,
Borzai.
banks can do that because they've made it legal for banks to do that. But any of the trading companies out there can't do that with your funds. They can only put your funds into what you decide to invest into. They can't take your funds that are sitting there where you're undecided and speculate with it. That's what happened with FTX. They took the funds that were sitting there and they speculated with it, thinking that they could make more money and pay it back. And it obviously didn't.
And most
So-
decentralized exchanges have the hash tag with it. So you know that that's that transaction. And as soon as there's a confirmation, the blockchain automatically sends it to your wallet because you've already put it in ahead of time.
It's
So
true.
when you do it at a decentralized exchange, I'm sending Bitcoin, I have to give them my BNB wallet address before they'll even do the transaction. It
Yeah.
never sits anywhere.
Well,
They have a designation that is going to first, then you have to send your coin to them, and then they automatically send it on. As soon as they get confirmation.
A DEX
you
has
want
no
confirmation
middleman.
with it.
Yeah, there's no middleman, it's a middle computer.
They go from here to here, so it's confirmation. It's in
That's
your-
great to put popcorn in, by the way.
What are some good examples of uses?
There are a lot of them out there, like Uniswap is probably one of the original and best known one. Uniswap version 2, version 3 just came out. Sideshift.ai is completely AI based, so you can basically, whatever you send to it, it'll send you back whatever you want. You put your address here, and it's like Betty said, it's like there's a fee charged, but they'll tell you how much the fee is, but it's completely decentralized. Nobody is holding your tokens. You still have to trust the platform. You have to trust the platform to send you the tokens. But if you trust the platform to send you the tokens, send it to them and they send it immediately. So
I use fixed float. I find it very simple to use.
Which one?
Fixedfloat.com.
It's,
Fixed
FYI.
float. They tell you exactly how much you're going to get. They tell you what the fee is, and you have to put your receiving wallet in before they'll even do anything.
Yeah.
They want to know where it's going first.
I'm going to tie in SideShift right into the existing website because they have an API available. So through the CryptoNutz website, we're going to tie in SideShift. They only charge a quarter of 1 point to do a conversion from most every token to every token that you can think of.
25, I convert that into 25 basis points, which is the lowest element.
Yeah.
So when ETFs first came out, they were charging people, and this is in the stock market, 10 to 15 basis points. So the 25 basis points is a very reasonable fee.
Yes.
Today, those same ETFs, they're charging 200, 300, 400 basis points to do exactly the same thing.
2%, 3%.
Yes.
Yeah. SideShift. SideShift is really good. It's AI based. So in other words, there's just an AI running things. You send one crypto to it, you put your deposit address on another one. It's available through your Trezor, hardware wallets. You can do it right through your hardware wallet. There's several that the hardware wallet will allow you to access as well. Changely is another one. That's Changely, CHANVELLY. That's available through the hardware wallet as well. So again, you're not giving up your private keys. You're initiating an exchange from one token to another. And I think most
Straight
of them
into your wallet, that's even.
directly into your wallet.
wallet.
Exactly. So you don't have to give anybody any information. You don't have to do anything other than put a deposit address in and send the tokens to their deposit address. That's literally all that there is. So it's a pretty basic thing. In terms of using a DEX. DEXs can be complex. Are you okay?
Yeah, Sean's gonna give me a ride.
Oh, okay. So DEXs are something that are very powerful, but you have to be able to, navigate them and use them because there is some technology involved with that.
Are they is it a user-friendly interface?
No.
No.
SideShift is. It's very user-friendly. SideShift.ai, by the way, is the website address. It's very user-friendly. It's super, super simple. Most of them are not that simple. Most of them are fairly complex. Like, I don't know if anybody's had experience with some of the other ones, like Uniswap version 2, version 3. If anybody had any experience with those? They're fairly complex because there's decisions that you have to make. And they don't tell you what you have to do. They don't tell you what the gas fees are that you have to pay and things like that. And yet if you make a mistake, you can pay gas fees and it doesn't happen. And a lot of people experience problems over the last big pump with crypto where they're trying to exchange one token for another, and the gas fees were sometimes higher than what they were buying.
Oh my gosh.
So people ended up losing a fortune over gas fees through Uniswap version 1.
Especially with Ethereum.
Yeah.
Prices, yeah.
And the Ethereum prices went crazy as well, like Benny said. It was insane.
Uniswap only deals with Ethereum tokens.
I believe so. Now, whether or not they bridged into any of the other blockchains, I'm not 100% sure.
It's the same as PancakeSwap.
No, PancakeSwap is based off the Binance Smart Chain. So anything that is operable on the Binance Smart Chain, you can do through PancakeSwap. That's why I was able to set up our Nuts token on PancakeSwap as well, because you can transfer any Binance token, you can transfer your Nuts tokens that are Binance to any other token that's on the Binance Smart Chain as well. But yeah, it's a little different. Polygon, there's quite a few good exchanges for Polygon. AnySwap is one of the ones that work really well for Polygon. And AnySwap is a great, or I think they call it multi-swap now. But it basically is a really good interface, very easy to use, and super cheap. So, that's one of the things. Because when we were using Uniswap in the day, like not that long ago, in the day, it's like a year or two ago. But in the day, in this industry is in the day. Sometimes transaction fees were $150. So if you're trying to transfer $200 or $300, you're paying almost as much in each transaction fees as you are that you transfer. So those, it's improved with Ethereum the way it is now. Ethereum is relatively inexpensive to do transactions. The most you're going to spend on Ethereum now is about $1 or $2 per transaction. We were paying sometimes as high as $150, $200 for a transaction in Ethereum when it was going crazy. When it was $6,000 Canadian for Ethereum and value. Those days are, it's $1,600 now. So $6,000 if you bought your Ethereum at $6,000. I feel sorry for you, but just have faith. One day it will fix sure. I mean, that's all I can say. A lot of people bought it that way. I mean, I'm talking Canadian dollars. I generally talk Canadian dollars. So Ethereum was up to $1,600 Canadian dollars at one point. It's $1,600 right now. So.
And another nice thing about SideShift there is that you don't have to sign up. You never have to give me your email address. Never have to give me your name.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And if you do it through a VPN or if you do it through Tor, you are 100% anonymous. Now, if you don't, theoretically, your provider could track you, but not very likely.
But isn't Tor, you just monitor the entrance and the exit points? Isn't that how they track you?
They monitor the exit notes.
The
Every
exit
Tor
points?
exit note is known,
Yeah,
so they watch you come out of a Tor exit note.
yeah, so,
Or if you're doing money laundering.
oh, okay,
Same thing if you're using a VPN, they don't know what you're doing.
yeah.
So
Sarah,
you
you're talking.
VPN and Tor.
Yeah, there's nobody that knows what you're doing if you're doing that. And if you're doing it to a DEX, then you really don't have anything to worry about. I mean, it used to be that DEXs, decentralized exchanges, and I did do a presentation on decentralized exchanges, which I'll refurbish back up in the next little while here and refresh everyone on what the advantages of these centralized exchanges are. But decentralized exchanges have been around for a long time. It's just recently that they've become actually to the point where you can use them as effectively as centralized exchanges. And now with what's happened with FTX, you can look towards decentralized exchanges just absolutely exploding. So those of you that are interested in speculative investing, and I don't give any financial advice by the way, in any way, shape, or form. But what you might want to look at is the decentralized exchange tokens, like Uniswap, great exchange, the largest by far of any other exchange out there. SushiSwap, another one, fantastic. CryptoNutz, been working for a long time, not there yet, but also other ones that are doing DEXs and decentralized exchanges. Start looking at those tokens because those tokens, chances are, with this FTX fallout, which is going to be going on for the next probably 3 or 4 months here. Like, we have not seen the end of this. This is going to be going on for a long time. And when this finishes, decentralized exchanges and decentralized exchange tokens are going to pump so hard you have no idea. Now, having said that, you've got to be really careful what decentralized exchange token you choose because there's a lot of crap out there. I mean, let's face it, there is a lot of crap out there. So make sure you choose projects that have been around for a long time. One of the ones I think I did a presentation on a while ago, PancakeSwap. I still believe in PancakeSwap. I still think it's a great platform. It's only on the Binance Smart Chain, but they deal with most of the larger Binance Smart Chain projects, and it's a great exchange. And some of the staking and liquidity functionality on PancakeSwap is really good. When I got involved in it, I think it was around $17 US. Now I think it's like $6, $5. So it's dropped dramatically, as always.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good on my cake, which is the native token, and pairing it with BUSD, which is the Binance US
Stable token.
So by using a stable token with the cake, you're reducing the volatility. Okay,
Now, are you getting paid in BUSD, or are they paying you in cake? They're
they're paying in cake,
Yes.
so there's that risk,
Yes.
but cake's pretty low right now,
Yeah, it is very low.
very low. The chance of it going down further will be less. But pairing it with the USD takes more than half the risk off.
Yeah, that's good. But if it's a stable token, how can it fluctuate in value?
Cake is
No,
not
not
cake.
the stable token. BUSD is the stable token. She paired it with cake.
Oh, okay.
Pancake. Cake is the token.
Oh, okay.
So she's offering liquidity pair between Pancake and
Right.
BUSD,
Right.
which is the stable. interestingly enough, that you should say that is, if it's a stable token, why did it fluctuate? Well, I deal a lot in stable tokens, and I sell a lot and buy a lot of stable tokens. And one of the things that I've had to be very careful about recently is the price of stable tokens. Because they have been fluctuating dramatically. You're talking, I've seen stable tokens fluctuate anywhere from 133 Canadian right up to 137 Canadian within a 24-hour period.
But
Huge
that's,
for stable tokens.
again, this breaks back down into the real fiat token where you get the value. So that's like a foreign exchange issue that you're dealing with.
Yes, Canadian to US, Canadian dollar drops, your token
Yes.
drops.
Yeah,
But nothing compared to, cheetah swaps sometimes.
Oh, God, no, not compared to traditional
Yeah.
tokens, no. But in the same token, when you think about a stable token, you kind of assume that you've got something that's going to be stable. Well, not so much. It can fluctuate a lot based on what's happening in the world.
yeah, based upon the foreign exchange, because remember, all of this translates back down to a fiat currency someplace, okay?
One day we hope that will not be the case, but for right now, that is.
Well, this is a little bit of a segue. The Canadian banks and the Bank of Canada are working on their own cryptocurrency, and they've been doing this for the last 8 or 9 years.
CBDCs, yes.
Yeah,
Most countries are. China's had theirs for a while.
yeah, that's what,
Right out there, say.
that's, watch China and get scared as to what they can do to your.
Well, we're not communists, so I'm not that scared.
Oh.
But that's pretty.
The CBDC does not work without a
We're more
digital ID.
dictators.
You have a digital ID, it will be coupled to the CBDC, and that's the end of any kind of freedom you have.
Well,
Oh,
nobody
you know,
knows.
too many, you can't buy that pizza.
But you can't make that blanket statement because nobody knows how they'll be implemented in a Western country.
That's the.
Why democratic country? That's
So what they're gonna do with CBDC, especially in Canada, is it's gonna be a pretty legitimate kind of operation. And it's gonna try to. It will be a fairly legitimate kind of operation with the CBDCs. And the way that they'll hook people, and no, it'll be legit. It'll be like your dollars or your Interact or whatever.
Except they can track everything.
And they'll apply conditions.
And they can,
no, they
right,
don't.
I see them applying.
You can't buy gas at Equal, you're too far away from home.
That's conspiracy theory. That's
That's
not
not
gonna,
conspiracy theory, that's
it's
inside.
not gonna happen,
It's
man. It's not gonna happen in your lifetime. Let's put it that way.
This is why
They
you
will
will
shut down your bank account in the blink of an eye.
look at the Trump economy.
They. and
You know what?
they have
Was the
done that
biggest
now.
wake-up call.
So they
Trudeau did that during the.
That's right.
And that was the biggest wake up call.
Okay, all you have to do is make a phone call to the bank, say shut them down, that's it.
And
It's done.
that was a wake up call.
But that's the
Yeah.
difference. Or traditional banking, it's the same thing.
Now it's just one button that you press and your
No,
life is.
no, it's just.
It's not even, it's
Right now, as it will be with CBDC. CBDC will not change what's happening with what we're gonna do right now, okay? They can close your bank account down. I can't even count how many bank accounts closed down because of crypto. We've been with every major bank and every credit union in Winnipeg, we've been with them. They shut us down left and right. So how is CBDCs gonna be any worse?
in that way.
It's gonna be a level of anonymity, okay,
No,
the same way cash is,
no,
okay?
no anonymity.
Let me finish, please, before you interrupt me. What they're gonna do is they're going to give a level of anonymity, not the way we think about it in crypto, okay? In crypto, you really are anonymous. What they're gonna do is they're gonna give a level of anonymity. In other words, they will know who you are, but they're not going to track what happens with your CBDCs in Canada, okay? We're just talking about Canada. Can they? Yes, but they can do that with your bank account already. Again, nothing is gonna change in terms of using your existing Interact bank account and CBDCs. It's gonna be the exact same thing. And the transition is gonna be so subtle and so easy that you're not even gonna notice it.
You know what, you,
With the,
Yeah, the
So
bank.
if you don't believe in banks, they don't believe in CBDCs. But there's no difference.
but you know what, that actually, I went to the bank today, to the ATM, and I go, what the hell is the difference? here's my ATM
There's
card.
no difference.
They can see exactly what I'm doing
Exactly.
anyway, because it's all in this little card,
But
right?
the control is part of the reason they're doing that.
Us,
The fine aggregate level of control.
And
I think
if you wanna buy,
You couple that with carbon,
social credit.
social credit,
yeah.
and the carbon taxes and the carbon footprint. Oh, you driven too many
Yeah,
miles
you're
today.
a conspiracy theory.
Social media, if you're in China,
It's reality.
and it's
So this is conspiracy theory. I can even name this website to you if you wanna. None of this has been implemented as rules.
It's designed.
It's
No,
been
that's-
back to
that's
the
the rules.
People are working on this.
Yes, who are the people?
in
Who are the
China,
people and how?
Kevin,
what's
can I
that
make a
one-
suggestion? In China, the government has had crypto people for 5 years already.
Who's telling them what to do?
Yeah,
Whose orders do they follow?
Can we get
Not-
back to the
not
crypto
elected
wallet?
officials.
The elected
Yeah.
government, that's the orders are
Thank you.
followed.
but you know how we go around the system, around, we've done it for the last 200 years. Okay, come on, everybody's
Yeah.
almost flicker into the reservation,
That's
one way or the other. and
So
get
tell
white.
me about the new treasure.
It's the same thing over and over.
That's right.
Tell me about the new treasure.
Get off this crap. CBDCs are something that are open for discussion always, but you know what?
let's have a segment on that one.
Yeah, we're gonna do a CBD thing, but the thing is this is gonna happen across the blanket. You know, if you wanna be the salmon and you wanna swim against the current, whatever, it's your own, you do what you wanna do. But you know what? This is happening. It's gonna happen. It's gonna eventually replace cash. How are we gonna deal with it? So what do you think?
Getting crypto wallets and
Exactly.
taking control of our lives.
Oh, that's what this is about.
Yeah, hurricane.
You can't control CBDCs, they're happening. Whether you like them, dislike them, you think they'll work, they won't work, they're conspiracy theories, whatever. It doesn't matter, the only way to combat against this is to go with complete decentralization. You know, like a paper wallet. Okay, so what this is about, basically, this presentation is about wallets and what wallets do and how they work. Anybody has any questions, just raise your hand, ask about them. But does everybody know what a paper wallet is? No, nobody
They still have that receipt from that crypto machine thing and it won't accept it in my trust wallet, I just don't get it.
Okay, this is the problem, which Brad just talked about right there. This is the problem with paper wallets. This is the reason why I've pretty much taken paper wallets off all of my machines except for one person who wanted them, and I left them on one machine in the city. But the main reason is that people get them and they don't know what to do with them.
And
And
they're,
they don't know how to deal with them.
and it's laser heated printer paper, so
It's
that.
their own paper.
Fade.
A light bulb, it's gone. They leave it in their closet, it's gone. They lose it in their, they leave it in their jeans and they run through the wash, it's gone. And then all this does is just raise all of our value of all of our crypto that is up there. But the thing is, it's gone. Like, so paper wallets are tricky. They are very secure if you generate the paper wallet properly. Problem is it sounds kind of crazy, but everybody's into paper wallets for a long time. So what ended up happening is a whole bunch of websites that came out and said, hey, need a paper wallet? I'll create you a paper wallet for free.
What could possibly go wrong?
Whatever go wrong. And this is what ended up happening. And lots of people went and generated all these wallets, and guess what? They had the private keys, and it sucked all the funds out of every single one of these wallets that were created. So yes, if you know how to create a paper wallet, the only way to successfully and safely create a paper wallet is to take a brand new PC that's never been on the internet before. Okay, this is very important. Never ever been on the internet before and has a paper wallet creation software that you downloaded and checked on another machine. You check to make sure there's no viruses or malware on it. You take it physically on a pen drive, you put it onto this machine that's never ever been on the internet, and you then generate a paper wallet from that, and then you erase that machine. That's really the only safe way to be able to do it. Because other than that, you're probably trusting something. And let's face it, crypto is about not having to trust anyone. Okay, so anytime you have to trust, it's not a good idea. And paper wallets right now are not a good idea because people don't have the technical savvy to be able to create paper wallets. So just don't do it. Just say no.
Sorry to say eroticness of it.
Yeah.
People can't handle paper.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they lose paper. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
or it gets destroyed, or Lord knows what. So I can't really recommend paper wallets. Now, the other thing that we can do is we can do web wallets, but some of these web wallets are not very good either. Like, especially if you've got something like Binance, or you've got Coinbase, which they make it look like a really nice app that you download from the App Store, and it looks like it's a wallet. It's not a wallet. What it actually is an app that gives you monopoly money. Okay? Most of these ones aren't. They're just giving you monopoly money. They're giving you a promise to get your crypto back at some time. Some of them are better at it. Some of them are worse at it. Like, you know, I've talked to people about crypto.com. I use crypto.com. I have a credit card in my wallet right here that is something I can take and buy with Visa anywhere I want. But the thing is, I don't keep much on there because this is a centralized solution. And so anytime you're dealing with a centralized solution, odds are you're going to lose at something. You know? And these are the kind of wallets where you lose first and foremost. Crypto.com, Coinbase, Binance. Now, a lot of these companies will also offer decentralized wallets as well, but that's a whole different thing. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So the web wallets that use where they control your private keys. In other words, you don't get that thing where you gotta, like we did when everyone set up their trust wallet, you have to write down those words. If that doesn't happen, you don't own a thing.
Right.
You own a promise. That's all you own. Unless you're writing down words. Now, a lot of the ones like the Jax wallet or the Trust wallet, it's only a 12-word, but that's a 12-word cipher that is very, very safe. I mean, unless you're some kind of a mogul or something like that, has, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on your wallet, you're probably pretty safe with those kind of wallets. Not so much with things like Binance, Coinbase.com, any of the centralized wallets, any of the centralized exchanges. Your funds, you're just trusting something. And it's not what people in crypto that believe you should do. Now, there are some hybrid wallets, and what they do in a hybrid wallet is they give you a copy of your word seed, so you own the keys. But what they do is they keep a copy of the blockchain on a centralized server somewhere, so that when you access your wallet, it's fast. That's really all they're doing. They're keeping a copy of the blockchain on their centralized servers, and they're trying to make your wallet react fairly fast. And they're going to charge you for that. They're going to charge you when you try and send your coins out, or when you get coins in. Some way or another, they're going to charge you because they're going to make money. Like, don't think that these people are altruistic and not trying to make money doing this. They are. So when you get a thing like a Trust wallet, okay, Trust wallet is one of the better ones because Binance bought out Trust. Trust was an open source project. Binance bought them out, and Binance financed. How long ago was that? I want to say 2 years ago. And Binance finances them. Totally. Just kind of like what we do with CryptoNutz and Winnipeg BTC on a huge scale compared to what we do. But they just finance that wallet. They say, hey, we're going to finance the development of that. We want a true open source wallet that, you know, is reliable and good. And that's one of the good things that Binance has done. And they keep it up to date. I mean, that's why we recommend the Trust wallet now, as opposed to the Jax wallet, as opposed to several of the others that we have in the past, blockchain wallet, and lots of other ones that don't work anymore, because they're not kept up to date. Cake wallet, which is one of the original Litecoin wallets. I had a client bring it, I had a shit ton of Litecoin on this Cake wallet, and he wanted to sell it to me, and is like, tries to send it to a Trezor, right? Doesn't work. Because it's so old that they haven't kept up with technology. The techs are long gone, and they're not keeping up. So they're on like 2 versions back of the blockchain. I was able to get those funds off there for them, but who knows, in another year or two, some of these wallets aren't going to work anymore. So be very cautious.
Just want to mention, because you said how they charge fees for trading and for buying and for selling. Notice how most of them don't charge a fee to take your fiat.
No, they want your money.
They want your money.
Yeah, because then they've got your money, and they do things like FTX did. They put it into speculative kind of exchanges, or they put it into things like Luna, where they're making 19%. Right? This is what happened to a lot of projects. Everybody said, hey, And I gotta be honest with you, I looked at that too. I didn't, of course, I wouldn't do it for the members, but I looked at that too. 19% return. You gotta think like, holy crap. That's how I lost like $12,000, was looking at Luna and thinking, holy crap, that's a great solution. They've got an algorithmic stable token that they seem to have backed by a lot of money. And hey, that's a good solution. You can make 19%. They're paying you from the fees. Ponzi. That's all it is. You can't pay those kind of percentages. And I noticed that there's not one member here that is one of the people I talked about that was making 1% per day in their returns. There's been a few of them that have come to our meetups and told me that they're going to make 1% per day, 365% in a year. In other words, you put like a couple grand in and you're a millionaire in what, year? Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you see stuff like that, that is just a scam.
When the returns blow your mind,
Ponzi.
they're bullshit.
Yeah, it's just all crap. You know, really. Hey.
Have I got a deal for you? I make money on Bitcoin, by the way.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
I invested early and got out early. You can make money on Ponzi schemes, but you gotta get out.
And the other rule behind Ponzi schemes is you make sure when you understand that it's a Ponzi scheme, and this is written up in the textbooks, when you understand that it's a Ponzi scheme, you let it run, but you don't tell anybody else.
No, because you get in trouble.
Then you, and you get burned because all of a sudden it blows out. So you gotta sell when the victim's
I
right.
made a quarter of a Bitcoin on Bitcoin, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, and I got out like the day that thing got announced, I was out. Like that was it. So yeah, Bitcoin. Not many people remember that. That was one of the early crypto scams that were out there, and Norman and I joke about that one sometimes. So managed web wallets, cloud-based wallets, you know, anytime you look, anything that's based on the internet, you are subject to it getting hacked. And I can't recommend any kind of web wallet. The only wallet that we're recommending now on your phone, and I don't recommend it for anything more than the value of your phone. So if you're holding more than the value of your phone on a web wallet, even the one that we recommend, which is a trust wallet, that's too much. It should be on a hardware wallet beyond that. So if your phone's worth $1,000, you got more than $1,000 on there, get a hardware wallet. I mean, I just finished telling everyone, like, we're going to have them for $100 taxes in for the treasures. I mean, go look around. I mean, your landed price on a treasure is going to be $125, $150. Like, we were selling it for $150. So we just got a special buy. So anybody who wants a hardware wallet, now is the time to do it. If you got more than the value of your phone investing in crypto, you should have a hardware wallet. There is a way, like, this is one of the cool things about crypto is you could come up with a phrase. I like to eat ice cream 10 p.m. every single night. That could be my phrase. And I will never forget that phrase. Okay? And you can do that. And you can create a wallet based on that. And that's called a brain wallet. Is everybody familiar with what a brain wallet is?
No,
Okay, well, there is a way to create an SHA-256 hash of any phrase that you can come up with. And maybe it's a song lyric that you like, or maybe it's something that your mother used to tell you when you were a kid, or something that you know intimately, and that unless you get some sort of major Alzheimer's or brain damage or something, you're not going to forget that. It's a cool thing, because what you can do now is you can hash those words, and you can create a brain wallet that is yours and that nobody can touch, and that you can then send any amount of crypto to that. Any amount. I'm talking billions of dollars here. And you can literally walk into any country and they can check your bags, they can check your treasures, they can check everything, and they will never ever find this. Nobody will ever find it. It's like a paper wallet, but it's a paper wallet that gets generated from the brain. And there's a site that's called Brain Wallet Generator, and it is a decent site. And I just put in, like, choosing a strong passphrase is important to avoid brute force attempts to guess your passphrase and steal your bank. That was my, that's what I wrote. That's my brain wallet. And then that gets hashed down to 1KAHIVP418 blah, 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 right? That's what that creates the hash of. In other words, when it cryptographically takes that phrase and changes it, just like your 24-word C that you use, it creates that hash. Now,
You don't have to need to know that hash. All you need to know is your words. That's it. So again, that could be anything. And that's what a brain wallet is. And that has value if the world goes to shit and we have to cross a border somewhere and we need to take all of our crypto with us. We can create a brain wallet. We can send everything we have. We can take our treasures. We can empty them out, put them into this brain wallet, show the border patrol, yeah, I used to have crypto. I got rid of it all. Look here, I'll even log in. I'll show you. I got nothing, man. And you walk across the border. You go to some tropical paradise somewhere and you buy the island and, you know, you do it with your brain wallet. And that's what a brain wallet is. It's the ability of individuals to create a phrase that will hash out and create something that nobody can get into. Like it's literally right now, other than quantum computing, there is no way to get into this, and people don't have quantum computers. So it's not likely going to be a problem.
And if quantum computing is ever a thing, all banks, financial, investing, all fails before Bitcoin.
Everything is fine. Yeah.
The crypto has a higher encryption rate than banks and investment firms. So they're all done for crypto.
So hardware wallets. Basically, what the main feature of a hardware wallet is that it air gaps you from the internet. In other words, it makes a physical gap from the internet. You can't get through to it. So no matter what, that's not just flopping out.
You didn't turn the heater on, you just turned the mixer on.
Oh, okay.
I just turned the heater on.
Okay. That's taking a long time to pop. Okay. So they're immune from hardware, you know, they're immune from viruses and things like that because it's a piece of hardware. It can't be written to. It's a piece of hardware. So they're air gapped from the internet. You can't manipulate them, you can't change them. They're the safest way that we have right now to securely store our crypto. We can do it with a brain wallet or a paper wallet, but then you've got some custodial issues that you have to take care of. You have to really think about these things. Like, what am I going to do with my paper wallet? Am I going to put it into a safe? Am I going to have it in my will? Am I going to do something? Because what if something happens to you? You've got this paper wallet, and family members come and look at this paper wallet. They go, "Oh, that's crap. It's gone." I mean, meanwhile, all of their lives could have been changed. They could have had $100 million that you had stashed in your paper wallet, but you dumped that shot or it's going to burn. Okay. So, you know, they have their place, but you have to know how to take care of this custodial aspect of these paper wallets. Whereas with a hardware wallet, you can leave instructions fairly easy. It's a PIN code that you can put in a safety deposit box that says, here's my hardware wallet, here's my PIN code. I'm not here. Use this PIN code to transfer this crypto to my family. So it's a little easier in that regard.
But the bigger issue is like give only half of the passcode to one person,
You can do that.
and the other half to the other person who's going to be your beneficiary.
Absolutely. You got 12 words.
Yeah.
That's called
Or 24 words.
five-factor authentication.
Oh, what's that?
So that's been around since way before works.
You're getting ahead.
No, sorry, okay.
A better wallet thing. Okay. He's telling me shit that's coming up. Okay. Okay. So the next part of this is
Popcorn's ready.
the nice thing about hardware wallets is they're open source, so we can look at the code that's been made to create these things. And this is important because when a centralized entity, whether it's a company or whatever, creates software that they own, okay, we don't know how this software is created. We don't know if there's backdoors to the software. Like FTX, back to the FTX thing. After Sam Bankman-Fried resigned, shortly thereafter, over $400 million got transferred out of that exchange. To this day, even right now, they don't know how that happens. Well, you know, there's a backdoor. They had a way in to go and transfer funds. And that's the problem that you get into with software-based wallets. And if you're a hardware-based wallet, this is no longer an issue for you. And there are quite a few of the hardware-based wallets out there. The Ledger Nano S is one of the original ones. It works well. It works with a number of different tokens and most all of the ERC20 tokens. And again, you've got a cryptographic secret 24-word phrase that's protected, that keeps you as protected as you can be. open source embedded Bitcoin app. Everything is open source. You can, you know, if you're a software developer, you can look at the source code. You can see that everything is legitimate. And if you're a developer, you can actually look for backdoors and things like that. It gets posted up there for everybody in the world to see. That's really important. Open source software is really, really important in the crypto segment. Any company that is producing a hardware wallet that is not using open source software, I would not have as a hardware wallet. Because I mean, let's face it, some of this stuff gets very, very sophisticated. And unless you're a software developer, do you really know what's going on there? So an open source project is your just sort of level of comfort where you know that at least it's out there for everybody to look at. And it's open so that the software developers can look at it and they can say, hey, no, that doesn't look right. Because we're not software developers, so we can't look at that. So when it's open source, everybody looks at it, the whole world looks at it, and they say, yeah, it looks good, or they'll say, there's something wrong. And that's really important.
You have open source hardware too. The Trezor, you can download from
Yes,
the plan, the file to make the circuit boards. And
absolutely. Yeah, everything is open source. Yeah, really, really important. Okay, so now another important thing about hardware wallets is they're based on the BIP39, which gives you the ability to do 12, 18, or 24 words. So that's kind of really important because let's say Ledger goes away, which I've had that happen with wallets because I've been into this forever already. And some of the wallets that I've gotten are no longer wallets. They don't work anymore. Some of them got taken over and they're just not in existence. So as long as I have my word seed, I can just fire up a Trezor. Ledger is no longer in existence. I can fire up a Trezor because it's based on current spec. I can just put my words back in and I got my crypto back. So really, really important to have an open source for the word seed.
It sounds like a lesson here too. You need to pay attention to the news regarding what's happening to the Trezor, what's happening to Ledger.
Yes, absolutely.
Is the development stopping it? And when this kind of stuff starts happening, you have to start looking for
Other hardware sources.
to move it to.
Yep. Because that
You
can
have to pay
happen.
attention to
That can happen. I mean, KeepKey. I don't know. Probably nobody's been for this long enough, other than Sean maybe. Remember KeepKey?
Yeah.
KeepKey got taken over. It's a centralized solution now. It was a hardware wallet. I bought one, and they were really cool. They made it like this, you know, really wedgy kind of with a big screen. They looked really cool. They got taken over. It's a centralized solution. Well, not even the tokens that I had on there. I wiped that device. I put them on my Trezor.
Not even wallets though. I mean, you and I have been around long enough that we were buying shitcoins back in the day where you had to install the BT.
Yeah, you got down the whole blockchain.
And if you had 15, then you're checking weekly to make sure there hasn't been an update or a swap.
I used to have laptops because these blockchains are huge. Each laptop had a different blockchain on it. I mean, it's like ridiculous.
And you don't check a coin for 2 months and you go back, you found out a month ago they swapped. And 5 days ago was the deadline and everything in your wallet's garbage
And you
because
missed
you can't swap. And
Oh, I had lots of clients. You know, these tokens change. They go from ERC20 tokens to their own blockchain, and then they give you a cutoff date when you've got to transfer your tokens over. This happens on a lot of different projects. A lot of people lost huge amounts of money. I have clients that lost huge amounts of money because they didn't keep track of it.
you buy it and forget it.
Exactly.
people who wrote the Great American Novel on WordPerfect, stored on 5.5 inch floppy disks. Can you get that novel off those disks now?
Good luck.
You have to be aware as everything changes. Oh, I have to move it to this medium.
Yes.
I have to move it to this.
I got a whole bunch of stuff on the original optical drives. You remember them? They were this big.
Oh, we have to have a conversation.
Yeah, Kevin,
But this,
That's not
I need a zip drive.
there's not this optical drive. They're like literally, they're like
Kevin, you still have 1 and 0 chiseled into stone or somewhere.
what's that?
You and Wayne still have 1s and 0s chiseled into rock.
Oh, I'm sure. I've got backups from the 90s. Like, look. Okay. So Trezor, I really like the Trezors. I mean, they're not the cheapest out there, but the software is good. Satoshi Labs, the people who created the Trezor, is one of the original people involved in crypto. They were involved in the original Bitcoin development. So they're smart guys and completely open source. And I think that they do a better job of keeping up on the software. So much so that I stopped really selling the Ledger Nanos because it ended up being so much support. When I was trying to explain to the clients how to use the Ledger Nanos, it just got to be too much. I mean, you're making 20 or 30 bucks selling them a piece of hardware. And if they're not buying any crypto from you to make some profit that way, I was spending so much time trying to tell people how to use these devices that it got to the point where I just said, hey, I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore. And I stopped selling them. I still have them available, but I'm very careful who I sell them to now, unless I'm helping them completely and doing the work, or they're technically savvy. I don't even sell ledgers anymore. I only sell ledgers.
But the other nice thing about the Trezor is I like the screen size.
Yes.
So much better than
Oh, ledgers are
yes.
absolutely. So, and again, but we look at this now with the Trezor, bit 39 and bit 44 for Battle Wallet. Again, so if you've got a ledger or you've got a Trezor, they can go with one or to the other. As long as you've got this 24-word seed, you own your crypto. And they did a couple of cool things, like when you enter the PIN, they can randomize the PIN code, so it makes it a little more secure and stuff like that. And yeah, that's just exactly what it is.
Kevin, I got a fun fact for that.
And that's it.
I got a fun fact I want to add out of that. So who here's used a Trezor, or when you Trezors do it, but other things do it, but you go, it brings up your 3x3 pin pad, right, 1 through 9. But the numbers aren't 1 through 9, they're scrambled.
Yeah.
That's actually from NORAD. I used to, when I was in the military, we had that on our high security thing.
Oh,
It's because it's so when I typed in the code, some jackass with binoculars couldn't tell where I was hitting, or when someone walked up, they couldn't see the 4 faded buttons because it changed every time. Where you came to change every time, right? So that's where that came. NORAD and nuclear weapons. But we used to use that. I remember having that years ago, entering buildings, high security buildings, with an actual keypad.
That's really cool.
So
I think that is really cool.
I'm sure now it has to do with it has something now it has to do with where clicking, tracking where your mouse clicks, yada yada. But that's why they do that.
So if you're like me and you pick your PIN number, not necessarily for the number, for the pattern.
Yeah, it'll pop right up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're done.
Hey, so you cut me off earlier about the 305 thing, and you never covered it.
What 305?
Okay, so we were talking earlier about in your will.
I didn't even remember. Never mind, cut them off.
Yeah, well, yeah, dividing the
In your-
house, yeah.
So I think it's changed names so many times, but we used to call it 305, or you could do 7 of 10, or
multi-sig wallet.
Multi-sig wallet.
Okay.
So it's basically where you could print off, say, 5 key phrase.
Easiest way to explain it is a DAO. Yeah, that's how we do.
Yeah, so you can print off. So say if you're printing off or writing down whatever your 24 words, right? You can write down 24 words. Well, you could also break that up into where there's 3 chunks of words, right? So, but now so you want to keep it safe. So I keep one of the chunks, you keep a chunk, and Kevin keep a chunk. Well, now if you're dead, well, we're screwed, right? So then
your words.
Yeah. So then they came up with something where it's called like 305. So you'd actually print out 5 chunks of words, and if any 3 combined, they could unlock it. So 5 of us could each have. The 3 of us would have to get together to collude to cut out the other 2. Right. So it's but for like retirement, or you say you die tomorrow, if you had enough people, it's kind of a trust-based thing, but it's still a little less trust-based. Right? Like I'm not giving 3 of my friends the password. I'm giving 5 of my friends the password, and 3 of them have to get together to trade. Take a hundred. Yeah. So that is a thing. Multi-sig is definitely a thing. So that's something you can do with. But like Kevin mentioned, if you've got more than the value of your phone in crypto, you should have a will written. You should have something in a safety deposit box. You should have a step-by-step guide where your dumbass teenager could figure out how to get that money if you're dead.
Or 30 something.
Yeah,
Depending on your age.
50 years.
And the thing too is, if you write it down, you must make multiple copies of it. Put them in some place. If your house burns down, you can get your money back.
Having your Trezor and your sleep raised in the same house where your house burns down means you have no more money after the house burns down. Yeah. So if you've got an inept mother-in-law or something that doesn't understand crypto, you can just hand her the paper and say, hey, put that under your drawers in your drawer. Another house piece somewhere safe.
But that's the idea of those plates, those metal plates.
Yeah. Yeah, fireproof. But those are not made out of like high tensile steel. So
They don't melt.
Yeah, those
You have a big safe like that.
You're
This
probably.
whole place could burn down, enough to be that story.
That we were cool for you.
The other thing you can do too,
Yeah,
if
they
you're
say
crypto that you
never.
don't want to go through
See
your
how
estate.
that story.
You can put them in a letter and give it to your lawyer that if something should happen to you, this letter goes to phone call and it doesn't go to the lawyer.
As long as you trust your lawyer, and if you give those word seats to your lawyer.
No, I didn't.
No, no, no,
And to me, you give this to my cousin, blah, 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 or my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And he has to give it to her.
There's always risk, but the amount of money that is, the amount of crypto money that is probably gone right now due to people dying.
It's over.
Because, I mean, you know, Quadriga guy died and millions went missing when he died.
Hey, how about the guy that lost his computer in that?
Oh,
big
that
last-
They don't try.
He had the C,
He paid a fortune, he's all about
He's trying to buy the landfill.
yeah, when he had the C words, he could have just created his whole
Yeah.
wallet on
Now
another
that-
computer.
that was pre-words, that was pre.
You would have needed the
Yeah.
private key in the state.
He would have had to written out a private key.
But you're right, if you had that private key, it wouldn't have been an issue.
And the other one that you mentioned there about, 19% annual or percent a day, everybody's ragging on CRO because they keep reducing the benefits and how much is on the card. Like 6 months from now, you lose Netflix, not gonna make any more on that card. Well, that's a good sign. Now, I'm not saying invest in CRO, I'm not saying, I mean, I am, but I'm not saying trust them. But the fact that they're pedaling back on how much shit they're handing out because they realize they can't keep. It's not a good sign. When the next credit card comes out and goes, hey, 10% cash back and free Netflix and Spotify. Not gonna last, it's a scam.
But as it matures, the percentages go down.
And that's what CRO.
They're more mature, they're making money and they know what they're making, so there's more competition.
Yeah.
Good competition.
I'm not saying buy CRO, but it's 9 cents right now. It's wouldn't be a horrible investment.
I'm saying don't buy CRO because it's a centralized exchange. And I have a good investment in CRO, but it's centralized. And right now is not the time to be investing in anything centralized.
That being said, Kevin talked about centralized and non-centralized. If you have $1 million invested in BNB coin on your treasure, it doesn't matter whatsoever when BNB crashes. When Binance crashes, that token is still garbage, doesn't matter where it is.
Just like the FTT token. It was an ERC20 token. You could have that on your treasure right now.
Doesn't mean it's worth anything.
Doesn't mean it's valuable.
Even USDC, even in that.
USDT, Luna, all of them. It's all of it. The only truly decentralized project out there right now is Bitcoin. I mean, that's it. I mean, all of the others are marginally decentralized, but Bitcoin is the only project that is completely decentralized and completely non-dependent on anything else.
Do you operate a Bitcoin node?
I find
Pardon me?
You operate a Bitcoin
No, I
node?
don't.
I don't. That would rather.
Don't want to use
I
that.
think it's like 1.5 terabyte or something now.
Yeah,
They're not-
is it used by that?
He uses a fair chunk, about 10 gigabits a month.
I don't know, I download.
He's got, yeah, he's got lots. You would never know this.
I would, it wouldn't even dent my bag.
About 10 gigabytes a month is the traditional kind of.
And there are Bitcoin node Dockers for analytics, you can actually install a full Docker, just inside it.
Yeah, it's not. Well, high.
They run on Raspberry Pi or.
With the terabytes or
whatever it is. Lots on.
And that's about it for the presentation, everybody, but we're open for questions or anything. You guys have concerns or
I have a
questions,
question.
you wanna know stuff about it.
Do you have any more customers?
Yes, I do.
There's a,
Bars, I have
there's a-
bars.
one of those bars has got a wrap treasure in it.
There's everything you
Oh, that's SBM did not kill themselves. That's it, Marty's far ahead of there.
hard battery.
Bars. Oh! Copy, Chris?
We found that it's your forehead.
Hey kids.
Coffee Chris.
We did the checks.
We are doing the picks. One for coffee Chris plus. There you go.
Not doing the picks?
Yeah, we're doing them right now.
Oh, okay.
Picks are happening. Picks.
Yes.
Come on, Norm.
Good connect.
Good connect. BCC.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, one. You got three. You got Bitcoin?
Litecoin.
Litecoin. I like that one. I just bought a bunch.
VE chain.
VeChain, VEC, right? I sold it.
VET.
I sold it. Thank God I did. I bought it when you told me to buy it. It went up and I sold it and I'm really happy. I didn't make much money.
Got good head up, but just so you know,
Teenage drama.
SBM cannot tell himself.
Yeah, he doesn't have a tattoo, but I think you're right. Okay, so he got one on that, one on that. I heard it. Okay.
I was already there.
Andre.
See our show?
You see what?
No, you see
My
our
God,
show, sir?
Luna?
Yeah.
You wanna pick Luna?
No. We're gonna see if you saw that.
No.
What on ETC,
ETC,
Eve and Litecoin.
ETH and Litecoin.
That was the base.
Yeah, ETC, ETH and Litecoin. Okay, got it.
Same.
ETC, ETH and Litecoin. Awesome. Okay. Brad.
We already talked about mine. We're going triple down on nuts.
Right on. Means we got.
That's high.
Oh, because I'm going 3 out of that. Betty, what do you got?
Oh, of course, Litecoin.
Litecoin, yes.
And
That's nuts. No. Barb, you're up.
That's
Alright.
dot for Stacy.
Dot. Okay. And. Okay. Don.
Oh, bullish, I'll put 3 on TRO.
Oh boy. Wow, centralization up the wazoo.
That's the one I support. I also collect air miles.
They're both the same. They're both great to smell. Sweet.
And
Nuts. Oh, nuts. Bert.
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
nuts and Cardano.
Oh, very nuts.
Oh, it's right up there.
Okay. All right. What's up? What do you figure? I have no idea what you're talking about. Pick your favorite crypto. Could be Bitcoin 3 times. It's up to you.
Well, I'm reading a lot about Ethereum and Doge.
ETH, I like them both. The ETH and Doge.
You got it,
Doge.
Yes, I'm a big Doge fan. You got one more. You put 2 on Doge, 1 on Bitcoin, whatever you want.
I heard a little bit about SHIB, but
SHIB, I love SHIB too.
it's there, it's there.
It's already there.
It's up there.
That's it.
Every time I don't think it's here.
I think the only.
Yeah, CRO is out there too.
What's it?
Under.
Oh, Luna?
Oh, that's a-
Zero, Luna, oh, let's hope that's that shit. 20K, that's a cool. Okay, Simon. Bitcoin, Doge, and Bitcoin, Doge, and Ethereum. And don't write out Doge because, you know, you gotta remember Elon Musk has 100 million people in his Twitter feed, okay? You gotta get your mind wrapped around the kind of influence that this guy has.
Twitter.
Yes, and that was the next thing, you stole my thunder. That's the next thing I was gonna say, is he's putting it into the Twitter platform. If that happens, it doubles overnight, regardless of the price, whatever it's at. The day that happens, it doubles overnight. So Doge is a really good bet. I sell it all the time. That's why my plate is Doge. Like last time I bought most of my Doge around 6-7 cents.
When it hit 85 cents came, I sold it off. I have been buying more again now, but I'm buying more again because I do think it's gonna peak again. You know, it's that simple advice that I give people all the time. And what I say is, when it hits close to its all-time low, buy. When it hits close to its all-time high, sell. That's it. There's no more analysis that you need to do. There's no more Fibonacci's. There's no more, MACDs. There's nothing. Gets close to the low, you buy. Gets close to the high, you sell. That's it. Nothing.
Have you ever looked at technical analysis in July? Oh, yeah, the intrinsic cloud is really, it
Don't need all that.
crazy, there's no.
Unless you want to drive yourself crazy, blow your brain out. When it gets close to the low buy, when it gets close to the high sell. Because